Good morning, welcome back to TwinStick Garage. My name's Mark. I like to work on old trucks, old cars, and this was my very first project. It's a 1979 Peterbilt Model 359. I've been working on this thing for about, I don't know, 5-6 years now, and I'm in the, well, I won't say final stages of restoration, but I'm getting closer. So the plan today is going to be to continue working on the bodywork. I want to take these old door skins off of here because I've got some new skins from Trucks Shrouds that I'm going to try and mount on there. And then I also want to go back underneath. A couple episodes ago, I pulled the 6-speed primary or front transmission in this truck, but I left the clutch and pressure plate. But I picked up some jacks, some specialty jacks from SureWerx, and I want to try them out and see how they work. And yeah, I'll just see how far I get here on this Saturday, and this is what you're watching now. All right, so if you saw that episode when I pulled the transmission out, you'll know it was a little bit sketchy. So the jack I was using was a, kind of a pickup truck transmission jack from Princess Auto, and it wasn't quite up to the task to lift that giant 6-speed Spicer. There she goes. I mean, it worked to let it down in somewhat of a controlled fashion, but I knew there was no way to actually use that to raise it back up into place. So I reached out to SureWerx. It's a Canadian safety company, and they actually have a brand of jacks called Strongarm jacks. So I picked up 2 different jacks to actually do this correctly and safely. So this is what's called a clutch jack. Oh, cool, check that out. So it's got two different spline shafts, and the way this works is it's basically just like a floor jack. But you can put this spline shaft in place on there, whatever size it is. It's either the 2-inch or the 1 3/4, I think it is. And what this will do is it'll allow me to, well, not only to safely take out the existing clutch and pressure plate and back it out of there and then set it down, but then when I get a new one, to put it back in, to lift it up into place, center it on the bushing in the flywheel, and then bolt it to the flywheel. Now these things are stout. So they'll keep TwinSticks from hurting himself. Oh yeah, look at that. The real deal. Right tool for the job. Okay, now let's see what the transmission jack looks like. Oh, beauty. See, you need something that's about the same size as the transmission to safely lift it into place. Wow, that's cool. I can't wait to try these things out. Holy cow, they're stout. I might have to take the crate apart. Or I could use this to lift it, I guess. Yeah, sometimes you just got to get the right tool for the right job. So these are going to be awesome. Super heavy duty, super safe. Yeah, I'm really excited to try these out. So again, if you want to get the right safety equipment for your job to make sure that you don't hurt yourself, because I mean, that's the most important thing at the end of the day, is to keep yourself safe. Go check out SureWerx. They've got great equipment, they've got safety gear, and they've got some heavy duty tooling if you're going to try and do something like I'm doing. Going to put you to good use. So SureWerx threw in a little extra with the jacks. So we'll see what they gave old TwinSticks here to keep them safe. Oh, check it out. Some high-tech knee pads. We're going to put those to good use. Some coveralls and some safety glasses. All right. Well, thanks again, SureWerx. I'm going to give this stuff a go. Yeah, I have to say these Knee Pro 3s are pretty slick. Okay, so let's see. It's always a good idea to protect your knees. Now I got to make sure which one is it? Yeah, that's the one. I guessed right. Okay. So there's a little adjusting nut here that allows you to adjust the angle for the spline dummy shaft there. Okay. Now let's see. I'm gonna get this into place and then I'll undo all the bolts. Okay. Oh. Well, I wonder, maybe it's easier to do it this way. There it goes. Okay. There. Okay. There, now that's held. So I can go ahead and undo all the bolts all the way around, and it should have, it should take the weight and not fall on me. There it goes. Oh, beauty. Right tool for the job. Oh, that's the way to do this. Sweet. A little bit of, so the clutch disc isn't too bad, but I'm still going to replace it. Yeah, doesn't look too worn. All right. Okay, wheel you out of here, and then we'll look at the flywheel. So again, because of the brake saver, there's actually a bearing here for the flywheel, and then the input shaft goes farther up in and then connects up to the engine. So there's a, I don't know, about 8 inches of space there for that brake saver setup. So it's a little different than a normal gig, where it just would go right into the bushing would be right into the crankshaft. But yeah, flywheel doesn't look too bad. It's a little shiny, but there's no real grooves or signs of heat stress. And yeah, that's one of the viewers commented and said, take a look at your engine mounts. So that one looks correct. There's the bushing in between, but this one here is just sitting right on the mount. So I don't know, someone must have swapped this engine out at one point. Sure, in a 40-year life, there would have been an opportunity for that to happen, but they didn't put the bushings back on that side. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's an issue, if that's worth going after or not. I might just wait till I find a B block and then solve the problem that way. Okay, I guess what I can do now is try and clean up some of this buildup and oil spray, and yeah, with that, I guess I can get that clutch replaced and then take the 6-speed to the gear center and get it rebuilt, and then in a future episode, put that whole mess back in here. Sweet. All right, so next up what I wanted to do is tackle the door skins. Now these are the original door skins, I believe, and I actually did a lot of work grinding off the 3 or 4 layers of previous paint jobs to get it to bare metal. But one thing that was always bothering me was the fact that the huck heads had been flattened out. I mean, even really flattened out over here from the previous folks that were doing the bodywork on here. They obviously weren't going around the huck head, and they lost that rounded profile and just ground them all flat. So I thought I might as well, since I'm working so hard, I've upgraded the cab corners with obviously new hucks, and we did the big hole conversion. I thought we'll just keep on trucking here and replace the door skins and put new huck bolts in. Well, they're actually not huck bolts on the doors, but I'll get into that later. So I reached out to my friends at Trucks Shrouds, and they sent me some new door skins. Oh, look at this. Just gorgeous. So these are pre-punched and pre-scuffed and ready for primer door skins. So all I really need to do now is to grind off all of the old, well, these aren't actually huck bolts. These are actually called, here, I'll get the camera and show you. All right, so if you saw those episodes where I put the new cab corners on, you'll know I used and talked a lot about huck rivets or huck bolts. So this is a huck rivet, and it's got threads on there, and then there's a collar, and there's a special gun that squeezes it down, pinches the collar, and then breaks off the stem. And it's just a beautiful tool, beautiful installation. And huck bolts are still used today on new Kenworths and Peterbilts. So I thought you could use huck bolts on the door, but unfortunately you cannot, because if you used it and pinched it down there, the collar would stand too proud to allow the door to be able to close. So they actually use what's called buck bolts, B-U-C-K, buck bolts or buck rivets, which is essentially just a little tiny miniature version of a rivet, but it's got the same head as the huck bolt, right? So that goes through there, and then there's a special tool that actually pinches that down and compresses it and squeezes it to flatten it out like that to allow the door to still close. Now, unfortunately, I don't have that tool, but my friend Blake at Weld Fab, he's actually building his own airplane, and he's intimately familiar with rivets. So he says he's got a tool that can actually crush these down and make this installation to match the original installation from the factory. So I'm not able to crush these buck rivets today, but what I can do, because I don't think it's bucks, well, it's bucks all the way around to about here, but then it stops and you can't actually get in behind the hinge. So I think these are actually blind rivets. And then these ones up here might be huck bolts, because again, it's not going to matter if they stand a little prouder. So these actually might be huck bolts with the collars still up there. So, and I think these are huck bolts as well. So I think this is going to be a combination of bucks, hucks, and blinds to get this on here. But what I'll do now is get this, I'll take the door upholstery panels off, and then the inner door skin, and then get to see what's doing in behind there. And then I'll have to start, like I say, grinding all these off of here in order to get the old door skins off. But I'm really looking forward to upgrading this. First time I've ever done this, learning as I go, but that's kind of what I do on this channel. So if you're curious how an old chain drive window regulator works, it's not that complicated. As you can see, there's a gear here, and it just moves the chain around. Problem is, this is a pretty antiquated system because you get slack in the chain and it's kind of stiff to use. I don't know if there's an upgraded deal or not for these old Pete's, but I should check into that. And then this, the support for the glass is all rotten, and the reason it is because when I found this truck in the field, whatever, 5-6 years ago, the window was halfway down. Pete 359. So for over a decade, all the rainwater and snow would just come in and build up on there and just rot this right out. I mean, this whole door would be rotten if it wasn't made out of aluminum. But I should be able to get Blake to help me with that. We can just bend a new piece of metal and then weld it in to the regulator support. And then the glass, you're probably wondering about the glass. So my plan is to replace the glass in both doors, new glass in the little peekaboo hole here, and new windshields in this truck. I need new windshields in the Duke, and then I want to do the glass in the Trans Am as well. And there's a cool guy by the name of Brady. He's got his own glass shop local to me here, and he's offered to come and help out. So one of the Saturdays I'll bring him over here and we'll swap out the glass. So I might leave this in place, because if I try and pry that out of there, I know I'm just gonna have this in 1,000 pieces. So I may leave that till Brady comes over, because he's the glass expert. But I think what I can do now is start grinding and drilling out the various hucks and bucks and see if I can't get that original door skin off of there. Okay, so I think first up I'll tackle getting this guy out of here. Now Blake taught me a trick that instead of trying to grind off the heads, you can just drill right through the center. So I just realized I can't open the door now. Okay, well, oh yeah, right here. Oh, easy peasy. Yeah, it's all just nuts and bolts. It's kind of cool how all this stuff goes together. I mean, even this, so they have a bolted hinged mechanism here, so you can tilt this out of the way to get the glass in. Like it's pretty slick how they designed all this. Okay, where was I? Yeah, drilling this out. You know, so Blake just taught me that you can just drill the head of the huck rivet out. Now, if I was smart, I'd probably center punch it, but I'm not worried about saving this panel. I'm just trying to give a demonstration. There you go, just till the head starts to spin. Oh, there it goes. And if you're trying to save the panel, which I'm not worried about this one, because of course it's a throwaway, you go just till the head of the huck rivet just starts to turn. Like that. And off it comes. There. Now I gotta get that off of there. Well, that's interesting how that goes on there. It's just a little sliding tab that goes over the lock. It's cool how simple this stuff really is once you start digging into it. Oh, well, that comes off of there easy. And then there goes the lock. So that's how that goes. Slick. So what I'll probably do is, I believe Trucks Shrouds sells new door handles, so I'll order a set of those from them. And what I can actually do is leave this. Maybe what I'll do is mask it, and then, well, obviously the new panel, but mask it, paint it, and then I can put the shiny new chrome piece over top, and that way it'll paint all the way to the edge. Cool. Yeah, drilling these out was definitely the way to go, but I was trying to be a little more careful up here because of course I don't have a new, I don't know what this trim piece is, but I'm gonna have to reuse it. So I'm trying to be real careful on the last few up here. Oh, and of course my battery dies. Goes. Come on. All right, I figured it out. I know why it's hung up. Those welds are holding it in place. Okay, just get out the grinder and nibble at that a little bit, and that should come right out of there. Out with the old. That was sure in there. I had to bend it up just a touch. But what I should be able to do when I put the new skin in there is just hammer that flat, and then the rivets should suck it back in. Yeah, okay. Well, I guess what I'll do now is clean up. Well, I'm gonna have to drill out the squished part of the rivets, and then I'll get the wire wheel and clean this all up here. And then we'll get ready to put that new skin in place. Yeah, cleaned up nice. Okay, I guess it's time to try out the new skins from Trucks Shrouds. So Trucks Shrouds is a great place to go if you're looking for new body panels for your Peterbilt or Kenworth. They make these new prefab, pre-drilled skins, cab corners, big hole openings if you want to convert an old truck to have more space in your cab. Just check them out at truckshrouds.com. And they're a great bunch of guys to work with. Very helpful if you have any questions. Oh, beauty, Clark. Look at that. Okay, so of course the passenger side has the little viewing window there. And let's see if they're the same. Oh, perfect. Perfect match. Isn't that nice? Okay. Well, with that, I guess I can go ahead and put it in place. Oh man, that is slick. Lines up perfectly. Okay, so what I guess I can do is, well, maybe I'll try huck bolts at the top, like I was saying. All right, now for my favorite part, putting in hucks. So again, I'll just huck the top and I'll have to figure out how to do the buck rivets along the side. And I don't have any blind rivets, so I'll have to go pick some of those up to do along the front. No, I can't do those because again, that's the door edge. But I should be able to do all these across the top. And just like that, it's done. Oh, no more flat huck rivets. Mission accomplished. Okay, can do the rest of them now. There, one more. Perfect. Oh, isn't that nice? Okay. Pretty cool. Yeah, it's easy to tell these front ones are blind rivets. Because when you center punch them, you can see where the pin gets pushed in there. I'm always amazed at how fast it goes the second time. Everything I do on all these trucks and even the Trans Am is what you do to one side, you got to do to the other. But it always goes quicker the second time. I don't know if it's a confidence thing or just you learn as you go, but it sure works. Oh, come on. Oh, I'm getting sloppy here at the end of the day. Okay. All right, so I did leave one out because this top piece here is cracked. And so next time Blake's over, I'll get him to hit this from the inside and zap it together, and then I can put that last huck over the top of the weld after it's ground smooth. But yeah, that turned out really nice. Oh man, wish I had some blind rivets I could at least do the front side here. But I'm looking forward to seeing how the buck bolts go on there. Yeah. Well, that certainly freshened it up, without a doubt. Well, with that, I think I'm going to wrap the episode up there. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. Special shout out to Trucks Shrouds and SureWerx. You guys have great products. And special thanks to you, the viewer. Appreciate you watching this all the way to the end. If you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and do that. Feel free to write a comment down below with what I did good, what I could have done better. And if you don't mind, do old TwinSticks a solid and hit the like button. That helps to juice up the old YouTube algorithm. And a friendly reminder to go check out the American Truck Historical Society at aths.org. Great organization. I encourage all of you to sign up and become members. And with that, I'm going to wrap it up there. Yeah, see you next week. And don't ever forget, if you got it, truckers brought it.
The next car that comes down this road is going to go right through me.
Hey, you don't have to do this. I believe you. I said I believe you. Get out of the way!
May be dead, but I ain't crazy.